Alright, now let's create the change password activity. In this activity, we are going to give the user an option to change their current password. But changing password, updating email, these are very sensitive data. So we cannot just directly allow the user to change password or email. We have to first authenticate the user to verify the identity of the user. So just the way we have done in update email activity, we are going to do exactly the same here also. We will first authenticate the user. If the user is authenticated, then we will let the user change its password. So before getting into the change password activity, let's make some changes in the menu, because now we are going to enable the change password activity menu. So let's make some changes in the menu item also. As of now, we are in the update email activity, and here I will uncomment the part or the else if part which is for change password activity, and I will keep the rest of the things commented. And let me add finish here, so that after opening the change password activity, update email activity finishes. Let me just change the context here, and I will just copy the name of the activity from here. It will be easier to create the activity in that way. So just create one new empty activity, rename it to change password activity. Alright, now let's get into the user profile activity, and scroll down to the part where we have defined the menus. So as we have done in the update email activity, I will do the same here. That is, I will uncomment the menu items. And also for this menu settings, it's going to show one toast message only, so I can just leave it uncommented, doesn't matter. And in user profile activity, we are not finishing this activity while calling other activities. So make sure of that. Do not finish your user profile activity. Let it be the home activity for the rest of the activities after logging in. Alright. Then let's open the upload profile pic activity and uncomment the else if part, which is for settings, and change password, and then make the necessary changes. And also don't forget to finish this activity. Then open update profile activity. Scroll down to the bottom where we have defined the menu, and we will do the same here as well, uncomment. And then finish. Alright. Similarly, in the update email activity, we can just uncomment the menu settings because it is just a toast message. So it doesn't matter. We are not going to create any activity for it. And a small homework for you, if you want to do it, you can create one settings activity, and in that activity you can keep the options like logout, change password, update email. So those activities you can actually keep in the settings activity. That is totally up to you. If you want to do it, you can do that as a homework or as a learning exercise. Alright, let's run the app. And if I click on change password, okay, blank activity is opening up. Let me open settings, and yeah, we have one toast message. Anyways, let's get into the change password activity now, and I will begin with the layout. And since we have created a similar layout for update email activity, so I will just open the layout of the update email activity, and then I will copy this entire linear layout. If you want, you can copy the scroll view also, then you will just have to change the context. But anyways, I'll just copy the linear layout and everything which is inside it. Then come back to the change password activity, the layout of the activity. And then here, first of all, I will change this constraint layout to scroll view. Alright. Then inside it, I will just paste the linear layout which we have copied. Now it's going to be very easy. We just have to make the changes. We have to change the text, the IDs, and then according to the IDs, we will have to work with the layout below properties. So I don't think there's a need for me to explain those steps. I'll just do it quickly. You can keep pausing the video and follow up with me. So first of all, I'll be changing the layout below and the ID properties as well as the text. And in this activity, we don't have to show any email. So in the first relative layout, we can get rid of the text view, which were for the email. We can get rid of them, and we just need one text view as a label text for current password, and then one edit text to take password as an input from the user. So we only need those two in the first relative layout. And in the second relative layout, since we need to confirm the password, so I will create two text views and two edit text. First is the password, then second is to confirm the password. It's very simple, just follow with the video. Anyways, that's all for the layout. I will move to the Java part now. And let's begin by setting up the menu. So open update email activity. Then we can just copy these two methods from here and then move back to the change password activity. And then outside the onCreate method, I will just paste those two methods, and then I will have to change the context accordingly. Alright, then let's create the auth profile variable, and it has to be global so that the other methods can access it. Then after that, I will create the edit text variables. We are going to need 3 edit text. First is for the current password. Second will be for the new password. And the third will be to confirm new password. For now, we are going to have a separate input box to confirm the password, but later when we are beautifying the app, I will remove this confirm password edit text, and instead I will add one eye icon using which the user can unhide their password and have a look at it to confirm it. But anyways, for now we'll just go with the flow the way we are doing it now. Then after that, I'll create one variable for text view. Then we have to declare two buttons. First is to authenticate the user, and second one is for changing the password. After that, we need one progress bar. And then finally, we need one string variable to hold the current password that the user is going to enter. Then coming inside the onCreate method, we will begin by setting up the title of the activity. Alright. Then after that, I will bind the views of the variables that we have declared globally. We cannot use the variables before binding the views, otherwise it will give one null pointer exception. Alright. The way we have done in the update email activity, I'm going to disable the edit text for confirm password, the new password, as well as the button which is for change password. So I will disable those three elements. Then after the user is authenticated or verified, I will enable these three elements. And then I will disable the edit text to enter the current password as well as the authenticate button. So after that, let's get one instance of the Firebase Authentication. Then using the auth variable, I will get the current user and I will save it in Firebase user variable. Alright. Then I'll check if the Firebase user is null or not. In case the Firebase user is null, that means something has went wrong. So in that case, we will just move back to the user profile activity. And also the best way to check whether a Firebase user is null or not is by using null keyword. I am just using equals method to show you, but this is not a proper way. It's better to use a null keyword. Anyways, you can do that. Anyways, then getting inside the else part, which means the Firebase user is not null. So in that case, we can just authenticate the user. And for that, I will just call one method. Let's say reAuthenticateUser. And I will pass the Firebase user here. Then let's create this method. So coming inside the method, first of all, I will use the authenticate button. And I will set one on-click listener on the button because this authentication has to start only when the user clicks on authenticate button. Alright. Then getting inside the onClick method, first of all, we have to obtain the current password that the user might have entered. So we will save that in the user password current string variable, which we have declared globally. Then after that, we just have to check whether the user has entered the password or not. In case the user has not entered the password, then we have to display error. Now coming to the else part, I will just make the progress bar visible. Then after that, I will create one authentication credential. This also we have seen in update email activities. So there's nothing new here also. So auth credential space credential equals email auth provider dot get credential. Then within bracket, we have to pass the email ID as well as the password. Now the email ID we can obtain from the Firebase user object. For that, we just have to use the Firebase user variable dot get email. This will return the current email of the user. Then user password current, which is the string variable. Alright. Then after that, we have to use the Firebase user variable, then dot reauthenticate. Then in the bracket, we have to pass credential. Then we just have to add one onComplete listener. Alright. Then under onComplete method, let's start with one if statement to check whether the task is successful or not. So if the task is successful, which means the user has been verified, in that case, first of all, we have to change the visibility of the progress bar. We have to stop it. Then after that, we have to disable the edit text, which was for entering the current password. And then we have to enable the two edit texts, which are for the new password. First one is to enter new password. Then second one is to confirm the new password. We have to enable both of them. And also we have to enable the change password button. And then we have to disable the authenticate button. I hope you're getting the point. Very logical. After that, we will display one text in the text view, something like you are authenticated or verified and now you can change your password. We have already defined one text view for this purpose. And then finally, we can display one toast message. And if you want, you can change the color of the change password button using set background tint list method. Alright, these two end braces are extra, so just get rid of them before they create any problem for you. While defining the set background tint list, I just added two more braces by mistake, so just get rid of them. Then we need to add one on-click listener for the change password button. So that when we click on the change password button, change password method is called and we will pass Firebase user variable here. And let's create this method. Alright, still something is wrong. I'm getting some kind of error. Let me check what is the problem. Alright, at line 62, while defining intent, by mistake, I have given two brackets. We don't need two brackets actually, we just need one. So I can just get rid of one of them. Alright, now the error is gone finally. Let's run the app. And everything is fine. The edit text for password and confirm password are disabled as well as the change password button. Let's try to enter the current password and authenticate. And yeah, after getting authenticated, the edit text for current password and the authenticate button are disabled. And the edit text for new password and confirm password are enabled as well as the change password button. That's what I wanted. So everything's good so far. And also let's try to enter some wrong password and see how it is going to behave. So as you can see, if we enter wrong password, the progress bar, it is not stopping because we have not defined any logic to happen in case a user enters wrong password. So let's take care of the exceptions now. Anyways, then just check where this if statement is ending. After we are finished with the set on click listener for the change password button, the last end braces is for the if statement. After that, we can just add one else part. In the else part, I'm going to use try block. Within try, I'll use throw task.get exception. Then finally, I just have to catch the exception that is occurring. And I'll just display one toast message using the exceptions message, but you can write that exception in the log file. And after the else part is over, you can change the visibility of the progress bar to gone. Alright. Because we have to stop the progress bar, whether a user is authenticated or not, we have to stop it. Now let's run the app and check once again. All right. Now getting inside the change password method, first of all, we have to obtain the new password that the user has entered as well as the confirmed new password. Both of them we have to obtain. And then we have to check whether the user has entered values for both of the edit text or not. In case the user has not entered new password, we have to display error. In case the user has not entered confirmed new password, we have to display error. And we have to check whether the new password as well as the confirmed new password matches or not. In that case also we have to display error. And then after that we will have to check whether the old password matches with the new password. In that case also we have to display error. Then finally we can begin the progress bar. And then using the Firebase user variable, we will call updatePassword method. This method will take only one parameter, that is the password. And then we will just add one onComplete listener. So in case the execution was successful or the password has been successfully changed, in that case, let's write one if statement to check if the task is successful. And then we will display one toast message. After that, we have to open the user profile activity. And we will just close this current change password activity. It is not needed anymore. And then in the else part, we will look for exception. And then finally, we will just change the visibility of the progress bar because it is not needed anymore. Alright, let's run the app and try to change password. If I am entering different passwords, I'm getting error. Now, finally the password has been updated, but I entered the same password which was the old password and still my password has been updated. It is because of the reason that in the else if, while checking the condition, I gave one exclamation mark in the beginning which is negating the entire condition, which means the Java is checking whether my old password matches with the new one. If it is matches, which means it is true, then because of this exclamation mark, it is getting negated. So that means in this case, my password will be accepted only if it is the same as the old one, which is wrong. So I'll just remove this and everything is fine now. You can run and practice. So anyways, we are done with this activity. In the next part, we will look how to delete user.